So they went about it and did it. I'm pretty sure everyone's familiar with Chernobyl. Whatever that was. Here's the thing. Chernobyl was a city that was basically... It was caught with a bunch of radiation from a nuclear power plant. From what I know, not too many people died. Consider 9/11. I think hundreds of thousands of people died in 9/11. I'm sorry, I need to look that up. I'm terrible with that type of stuff, learning how many people died. But I know that only 200 people died in Chernobyl. But it was still a fucking tragedy what happened. Here's the thing though. In 2012, a movie, Chernobyl Diaries, came out. And I remember seeing it a few years after it came out. I was like, this was actually pretty cool. And I told myself, wouldn't it be cool if we got more horror movies or movies relating to Chernobyl? And in 2019, we got the HBO Max show, Chernobyl, which I haven't seen, but I've heard it's really good. So it's okay, more people are starting to see that Chernobyl can be used in mainstream media, movies or shows. It's been made, mission in Call of Duty Modern Warfare. There's a mission where you go to Chernobyl. Case in point, today, the movie I'm reviewing, Ghost of Chernobyl. I saw this at Walmart and I was like, I gotta get this. I gotta get it. And there's one thing that sold me on this. This movie takes place in Chernobyl, but that's one thing. Found footage. I'm getting it. I don't care if it's bad. I'm getting it. I love found footage movies. I'm probably one of the only people in my friend group who loves found footage movies, because to me it's a great way of pulling you into the you're along for the ride. You have no choice but to watch, and there's a sense of realism. People that know me know I love fucking Blair Witch Project. I love that movie because there's a sense of realism to it. I even like the sequel, the 2016 Blair Witch. Yeah, it doesn't really follow the movie and why it was scary, but it was still good. I like found footage movies. There's just a sense of realism to it. And when I heard that this movie was found footage, I was like, I gotta see it. Meh. So this movie's meh. So basically, when a group of unsuspecting American tourists stumble across the Chernobyl exclusion zone whilst on their travels across the Eastern Europe, they're intrigued. I can't pronounce that word, I'm sorry. Their trip quickly turns to cold fear. Evil waits in the form of ghosts, hundreds of citizens who died trying to flee the aftermath of the explosion. It looks like the group has no hope when they meet a mysterious, barely living girl. But will she help them escape alive? I don't know. So how is it handled in the movie? Well, here's the thing. I don't often say this about movies because I don't really... Here's the thing with characters in movies. It's really hard to make a character not likable. I mean, Negan. He's a bad guy in The Walking Dead, but in later seasons he's become more of oh, we love to hate him, and he's even become an ally of the group in The Walking Dead show. So he's not really a bad guy. He's just kind of misunderstood, and he has his own priorities. Even he has his limitations, he won't kill someone because he thinks if they play a part in the group, he won't do it. But he'll do what he needs to get done. So anyways, he's not unlikable. The characters in this movie are really what stung for this movie. Because I thought there were moments in this movie that were creepy. There are a lot of good moments in this movie that are creepy. But the thing that just were the annoying characters. Okay, so I'm gonna use this as an example. Blair Witch goes to Chernobyl. In Blair Witch, yes, the characters scream a lot. They argue a lot. They cuss at each other a lot. But the difference between that movie and this movie is the fact that in Blair Witch, there's a sense of realism to it. There's a sense of uncertainty. And the things that they are saying makes sense. They're rightfully angry at each other. For instance, Heather, she loses the map, and they're stuck in the woods. Of course would get mad. It's like, you lost the map? How could you lose the map? And then they argue about it. And then the one guy who's been in there for 3 days, he's kind of, I forget if it was Josh or Michael, but one of them basically kicked it's revealed that he had the map the entire time, and he kicked it into a creek because he thought he knew we was going with the GPS. And it's like, oh, like if you were there, you'd get pissed. There's a sense of like, oh, I can relate to that if I was put in the situation. Here's the thing, in this movie, there's none of that. The actors, for the most part, do an okay job at what they're given, but oh my God, they will not shut up about everything. A girl, like the main girl in this movie, she's like, I think we should head that way. And the one guy says, well, I'm not going to follow your plan. You're always getting us lost and shit. And he's at times overacting, and he's constantly using the F word like in sentences that won't need to. He's like, fuck. One example, he says like, oh, we need to head in this fucking building for the fucking night. It's like, what? Why do you guys say for the fucking night? What? That makes no sense. And the character, here's the thing. For the whatever budget this movie was, because I don't know, IMDb doesn't list the budget for this movie. I don't know where to find the budget for these types of movies. But for the budget, this place genuinely seemed like Chernobyl. In fact, when they got to Chernobyl in the movie, I was like, that's cool. That's cool. For whatever budget this movie was, it's obviously low. It didn't look half bad. And I was like, okay, this could be cool. And like I said, there are moments in this movie that work. There are scares that work. For the most part, the camera's shaky. It's a found footage. But it's not like, oh, you can't see it. It's like, oh, yeah, we gotta get out of here. But then, like, when something happens, they freeze and you can actually make it out. I think there were 1 or 2 jump scares that did get me. One was a train and one when the main ghost girl jumps out. And this movie had some interesting lore with the main ghost girl that I found very interesting. That when we saw, like, flashback footage, I was like, ooh, that's kind of intriguing. But the movie is ruined by its actors and its characters. Actually, I'm sorry, not the actors, the characters. The characters are just what take me out of this movie. They're not like, no, they're unlikable. I said it before and I'll say it again. To me, what makes like a bad character is like a character that is just like either like super duper annoying or just like they're a total douchebag. If a character makes a stupid decision and people say, hey, the character's like, oh, I hate that character. It's like, you made one bad decision in one movie. It's like, you're going to complain about that? To me, what gets me upset is like characters who are made out to be annoying, angry, and just downright like, they're meant to be bad. They're meant to be bad characters. The characters in this movie aren't meant to be bad. They're meant to be, they're in a terrible situation. So of course they freak out. Here's the thing, they freak out over everything. The one character says, hey, we should spend the night in this building. And the one girl argues with him for like 20 minutes. I'm dead serious. 20, like maybe 15 to 20 minutes. Saying, oh, we can't head in that building. We should like wait for daytime or something. And he's like, no, we need to head in this fucking building in this fucking night. And then his friend comes along and yells at the girl. And she yells at them. And then they just argue back and forth. It's like, you guys should just head in the building. That guy's right. You're wrong. Any logical person would say we need to spend the night in this building so we can avoid the ghosts. At least that's what would make the most sense to me. It just, the scenarios they were in just didn't really make a lot of sense. And the dialogue didn't make a lot of sense, and it was just irritating. There was so much screaming and shouting, guys. It was so annoying. I'd watch Blair Witch over this any day, but the movie wasn't terrible. There are a lot of things I did like. It's the thing that ruins it is the characters. That's it. Because overall, I don't think there was anything else wrong with this movie. I thought that the lore with the ghost girl was interesting. The location, Chernobyl, was cool. I like the fact that it takes place in Chernobyl. I like the fact that they included the Ferris wheel. I like that, for whatever budget it was, they made it look like Chernobyl. I thought that the actors weren't like, terrible. I just really wish it was just better writing and like better dialogue and not shouting so much. That's it. This movie overall, it's a C. C. Maybe a C minus. Yeah, C minus. I'll give it a C minus. That's it, guys. What movie should I review next? Maybe I should give Westerns a try.